When I first came to work here several years ago, one of the first questions I had was, why was the world's first Shriners Hospital in Shreveport, Louisiana? Hard efforts of some really creative Shriners here in this area, they put together a plan where they acquired the piece of property we're on today. They got the support of the local medical society and got some deep pockets of some members of the fraternity to come forward with the resources necessary to get the ball rolling.
My dad was a Shriner, my grandfather was a Shriner. I lived within 2 doors of this particular hospital from the time I was 15 until after I married and left home.
As far as I'm concerned, it's my hospital, and so whether it's the first or the last, I'm just proud of what it does.
It's unbelievable that we have a place here in our community that, the orthopedic side of it that, just does phenomenal things. I know we have some of the leading orthopedic children's surgeons anywhere in the United States and probably for the world.
Dr. McCall, our chief of staff, is an absolute expert when it comes to spines and spina bifida, club feet. It's like he's got his area of specialties, and then Dr. Gates has his area of specialties, and certainly cerebral palsy is, Dr. Gates is the absolute guru of cerebral palsy. We are definitely specialized in the areas that we see here, and the kids get the best care.
They've allowed us to stay at the forefront of technology, even though the expense for a lot of technology is pretty eye-opening. They're still very good about it. They don't balk at the fact that something may be expensive. Their main concern is, does it work?
We're trying to find out if there are certain deformities in the bones or at the joints that are causing the gait abnormalities, and what type of surgical intervention the child may need to correct that.
We have really a great team of people, all of whom have worked with these very complex kids for a while.
We do have multidisciplinary meetings to discuss the patients and our care before and after the patients had a surgical procedure.
And we talk about the child's progress and their goals that we have for them, nursing goals, physical therapy goals, and we discuss that with the physician and we come up with a plan of care.
We treat the child holistically and that all of their needs can be met here at this facility.
From braces to splints to therapy to medical care and x-rays, all that kind of stuff is right here.
The guys back in the lab are amazing. They're really our specialists on the engineering side. They're the ones back there that bend the metal and pull the plastic and they modify the cast, and so they really have to know what they're doing.
My rehab team is my family. They'll pick up the slack. We're definitely a team place here.
You can't fix everything, but hopefully you can improve things, and children are good adapters. If you give them a chance to improve themselves, they're going to improve themselves as much as they can. It's just gratifying to me to see a child be able to do the things they want to do and not have to give it up because of some overlying medical condition.
They're experts in this field. You can have confidence in what they tell you. And not only that, but they're going to care for your children like they're their own children.
We are a unique environment because everybody is here is mission focused. We take care of the child, not as a patient, but as a child, and their families are all part of the environment that we're working in here.
They genuinely care about you. They care about your problems, they care about your family, and it's amazing.
Family-centered care is teaching the families to care for their children when they take them home after they've had some sort of a change, maybe a surgery.
The night before my surgery, there was a little girl in the room next to me from South America, and she was crying. She was very scared. I was very scared. She was having back surgery also. And I remember hearing one of the nurses go in there and singing to her and comforting her, and I'll never forget that as long as I live.
It really makes it
kind of like a vacation.
It's like a vacation. It's not like a hospital at all.
We saw things on our first visit that Macy had never had done. Measuring how far she can stretch and all the different measurements they were doing. I mean, those were things we had never seen.
So it starts all the way from the time they enter the door. We have child life and nursing services in the outpatient setting that get information, and so we can prepare the patients properly for surgery.
When I talk to families about what child life is, they mix us all in with the rest of the healthcare staff. And so the easiest way to explain it is that we're the developmental part of the medical team, where we bring the hospital down to the child's level and try to make the hospital environment more child-friendly. And so we meet the child's needs on a number of different levels of going where they are and what they're experiencing so that they can cope best with what's going on with them.
They came in, they worked, not with us, but they worked with him, showed him how to do the IV. She let him put the cast on her finger. You know, I mean, really actually showed the kids what was going to be happening with them, and I think that lessens their fears. You know, I mean, you know, they really work with the kids and let them know what it's all about before they have to do anything.
Well, it wasn't just one person either. It was
all of them.
All of them, the whole group. Dr. Gates, the nurses, I mean, everybody.
It seems like they care for you as if they've known you. It's not like you just met. You know, it's kind of like you've known them forever, and they come in smiling, introduce themselves, and they're just attached. And then whenever you come back, it's usually the same people, you know, and they say, hey, you know, it's like they just remember you. And I've never experienced that at any hospital.
Well, I've been here long enough now that I'm taking care of some of the parents, some of the kids that have grown up and have kids. So I'm going into a second generation now. And that's a big impact because we all are like families. We've raised them.
She had hip dysplasia, and I called up here, and Dr. McCall, who actually did my surgery, was like, Megan, bring her in. I'll see her myself. So I got her right in, and they got her fixed up.
You can see these children grow. Sometimes you'll pick up a child as a newborn, and you'll get to follow them for 16 or 18 years.
We get parents in here a lot that will say, well, I never thought that my kid was going to be able to accomplish what they've accomplished.
It brings tears to everybody, especially the families, the parents, when they're real young and they haven't walked without assistive devices or they've been in wheelchairs, and then they have their surgeries.
You know, when you go about and you're doing your job every day, and then something happens as a Shriner moment, is when you get that lump in your throat going, oh my gosh, I've known you for 3 years and I've never seen you walk.
They have a vision about life that we don't.
You gotta learn to adapt with your disability, and you gotta really know, you know, I'm gonna climb that mountain, I'm gonna climb over it.
I wouldn't send my children anywhere else.
You know, that's the Shrine story. That's what we really are.